At first, nobody understood what was happening. The street was crowded, cameras were moving, fans were trying to get just one glimpse, and then everything suddenly changed. He appeared carrying several small gift bags, walking calmly as if it was just another normal day. But the moment he stopped in front of complete strangers, the energy in the entire street shifted. People pulled out their phones. Some fans covered their mouths in shock. Others stood frozen, unable to believe what they were seeing. One by one, he began handing out the gifts, each smile, each quiet gesture making the crowd even more emotional. But what nobody realized was that inside one of those bags was something so unexpected it would leave everyone speechless. And when fans finally discovered the truth, some of them couldn't hold back their tears. The moment the first gift left his hands, the atmosphere on that street no longer felt ordinary. What started as a simple walk through a busy afternoon slowly transformed into something nobody around him could fully understand. The crowd that had originally gathered out of curiosity began moving closer, their expressions changing from excitement into confusion, then into something much deeper. Phones were raised higher. Cameras zoomed in. Every pair of eyes followed his movements with complete silence, afraid to miss even a single second. He continued walking with calm steps, surrounded by his team and the riders who stayed close, creating an almost cinematic scene in the middle of the city. The sunlight reflected against the transparent gift bags in his hands, making each package look even more mysterious. Fans whispered among themselves, trying to guess what was inside, but no one had the answer. Some believed it was simple merchandise. Others thought it was part of a secret promotion. A few even wondered if this was the beginning of something much bigger. But then something happened that changed everything. As he approached another group of people standing near the sidewalk, his expression changed slightly. The playful smile that had been on his face moments earlier became softer, deeper, almost personal. The people in front of him seemed nervous, completely unprepared for what was happening. One fan covered her face as tears instantly formed in her eyes. Another stood frozen, unable to move, her hands shaking as she accepted the gift. The energy spread through the crowd like a wave. More people began crying without fully understanding why. It was no longer about meeting someone they admired. It was no longer about photos, videos, or social media clips. Something about the way he looked at each person, the way he carefully handed over every gift, made the entire moment feel intimate, rare, and unforgettable. Online, clips from the street started spreading faster than anyone expected. Within minutes, fan pages were reposting the footage. Hashtags began climbing. Notifications exploded across multiple platforms. People from different countries were asking the same question. What exactly was he giving away, and why did everyone receiving it react so emotionally? Speculation grew with every new upload. Some fans claimed the bags contained exclusive items nobody had ever seen before. Others believed each gift carried a hidden message. Several slowed down the videos frame by frame, trying to catch even the smallest detail through the clear packaging. But the closer people looked, the more mysterious it became. Hours passed, yet the curiosity only grew stronger. News pages started posting headlines. Fan communities were flooded with theories. Millions of viewers watched the same clips repeatedly, hoping to discover something others had missed. But one specific video changed everything. A fan who had received one of the gifts finally uploaded a close-up recording. The video began with trembling hands, heavy breathing, and tears that refused to stop. People clicked instantly. The view count exploded. Comments poured in faster than anyone could read. As the bag slowly opened, the internet held its breath. Inside was something that looked simple at first glance, almost ordinary, until viewers noticed what was attached to it. Hidden carefully inside was a handwritten message. Small, personal, impossible to ignore. The reaction was immediate. Fans across the world became emotional. Some cried while watching. Others shared their own stories of how a single gesture from someone they admired had changed their lives. The original street video, once just another trending clip, had now become something much bigger. It became a symbol of connection, gratitude, and a moment nobody expected to witness. But even after millions of views, one question remained unanswered. Why were only certain people chosen? That single mystery kept the internet awake. Every new angle, every unseen recording, every fan account posting behind-the-scenes footage only created more questions. Some believed there was a hidden pattern. Others thought he had been watching the crowd longer than anyone realized. A few fans began comparing videos, noticing something strange about the people who received the gifts first. And when that discovery finally surfaced, the entire story became even more emotional than anyone was prepared for. As the night grew darker, the mystery surrounding that street encounter only became stronger. What should have ended as a touching viral moment was now turning into something much larger, something nobody could fully explain. Across social media, millions of viewers continued replaying every clip, every angle, every second of footage. Fan communities that were usually filled with edits and celebrations had now become places of investigation, emotion, and endless theories. People began noticing details that had been completely ignored in the beginning. The way his eyes moved through the crowd before choosing someone. The way he paused for a few seconds longer with certain people. The way his expression changed depending on who stood in front of him. It no longer looked random. It looked intentional. Almost as if he already knew exactly who he was searching for before he ever stepped onto that street. The discovery spread like wildfire. Fans from different countries started collecting clips from every possible source. Some found recordings from nearby cafes. Others uncovered videos taken from upper-floor windows. A few security cameras from nearby shops even captured moments that had never been posted publicly before. With every new angle, one thing became impossible to ignore. He wasn't simply handing out gifts to random people. He was watching faces, reactions, emotions. He was searching. And suddenly, the question everyone had been asking became even more terrifying. Who was he looking for? Hours turned into an obsession. Large fan accounts began analyzing facial expressions, walking patterns, body language, even the direction of his gaze. Some theories sounded impossible. Others felt so accurate that viewers started believing there had to be a hidden story behind everything. But one video changed the entire investigation forever. It was shaky footage uploaded by someone standing much farther back in the crowd, almost invisible in the original clips. The quality wasn't perfect, but what it captured sent the internet into complete silence. Before handing one of the final gift bags away, he suddenly stopped walking. For several seconds, he didn't move at all. The riders around him slowed down. Security looked confused. Even the crowd seemed to sense that something had changed. His eyes stayed locked on one specific person standing near the edge of the sidewalk. Someone who wasn't screaming. Someone who wasn't recording. Someone who looked like they had never expected to be noticed at all. The crowd around that person slowly turned, trying to understand why everything had suddenly gone quiet. Phones lifted higher. People moved closer. Some even stopped breathing, afraid to break the moment. Then he walked directly toward that person. No hesitation. No change in direction. No distractions. Just a calm, focused walk through the noise, as if the thousands of people around him had completely disappeared. When he finally stood in front of that fan, something happened that no camera was fully prepared to capture. The person immediately began crying. Not because of excitement. Not because of shock. But because whatever was happening in that moment felt deeply personal, almost impossible to understand from the outside. The gift bag was placed gently into trembling hands. But instead of walking away like before, he stayed there for a few extra seconds. His expression softened. His eyes reflected something much deeper than kindness. Something that made even viewers watching through a screen feel emotional. And then he left. No explanation. No public statement. No social media post. Nothing. But the internet was no longer calm. That clip shattered records overnight. Millions of shares. Millions of comments. Fans crying while watching. News pages calling it one of the most emotional celebrity moments of the year. Some viewers admitted they had watched the same clip more than 50 times, trying to understand what had really happened in those few silent seconds. Then, just when people thought the mystery could not grow any bigger, a post appeared. A private account with almost no followers uploaded a single photo. No filters. No captions. No hashtags. Just one image of the gift bag and the handwritten note inside. The account owner was the same person from the crowd. And what was written on that note made the entire world stop. For several minutes after the photo appeared, nobody moved. Screens remained frozen in hands. Comment sections that had been moving faster than anyone could read suddenly became silent. Millions of people were staring at the same image, trying to process what they were seeing. The photo itself looked simple. A transparent gift bag placed on a table under warm lighting. Inside were the same items fans had already seen in earlier videos. But this time, there was no mystery about what people were focusing on. Hidden beneath the gifts was the handwritten note everyone had been searching for. The image quality was clear enough for people to zoom in. Thousands did. Then hundreds of thousands. Then millions. What was written there wasn't promotional. It wasn't branded. It wasn't part of any campaign, album release, event announcement, or public marketing strategy. It was personal. Painfully personal. The kind of message that instantly makes your chest feel heavy before your mind fully understands why. The internet exploded again. Fans across the world began sharing their reactions. Some cried while reading it. Some couldn't finish the sentence without pausing. Others admitted that they had never expected a simple street moment to turn into one of the most emotional stories they had ever witnessed. Even people who weren't fans began watching the clips, trying to understand why millions were suddenly so emotionally invested in one handwritten message. But as investigators online continued studying every detail, another discovery appeared. The handwriting on the note looked familiar. At first, people thought it was just imagination. But old letters, signed merchandise, fan messages from previous years, and archived event footage began resurfacing online. People compared every curve, every stroke, every angle of the pen. The conclusion was almost impossible to deny. He had written every note himself. That single discovery made everything even more emotional. This wasn't a prepared team project. This wasn't management. This wasn't staff organizing gifts for publicity. The notes had been written one by one, personally, carefully, and intentionally. The realization broke the internet again. Fans who had already been emotional now found themselves completely overwhelmed. Some stayed awake all night reading translations. Others posted stories about how those words reminded them to keep fighting through difficult moments in their own lives. Then a deeper investigation revealed something no one was prepared for. The people who received the gifts first all had something in common. At first it seemed impossible. They came from different countries, different backgrounds, different ages. But as fan communities began connecting clips, screenshots, old event photos, and archived posts, a pattern slowly emerged. Every person he chose had supported him during one of the hardest periods of his career. Some had attended events years ago. Some had written messages during difficult public moments. Some had quietly stayed loyal when public attention had shifted elsewhere. They weren't random fans. They were people who had been there long before cameras, headlines, or viral trends. The discovery sent shockwaves through the internet. What looked like a simple street giveaway had now become something far deeper. Something built on memory, loyalty, and years of silent connection. Millions of fans suddenly rewatched the original clips with completely different eyes. Every smile meant more. Every pause felt heavier. Every glance carried hidden meaning. But one detail still remained unsolved. There was one final gift bag. In every video, people could clearly count the bags at the beginning. But by the end of the event, one was still missing. No footage showed where it went. No fan posted about receiving it. No hidden angle explained what happened. It simply disappeared. The internet became obsessed again. Some believed he kept it for someone special. Others thought the final bag was never meant for the crowd at all. Conspiracy theories exploded. Fan edits reached millions of views. News channels picked up the story. Even people who had never followed him before became emotionally invested in finding out the truth. Days passed. Then a week. Still no answer. Until late one night, a new video appeared from an account nobody recognized. No profile photo. No description. No followers. Just a single upload. And in the very first frame, the missing gift bag was finally visible.